fun. The top end shit is brutal.
Once
The
you have the
lower
way to
stuff,
stress
you just
and
have a great time.
expectations, it's a different ball game. But yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing more fun than drilling your buddies in like 3 pistol executes and then just running those for an entire map and seeing if they can stop you. It's a good time. I recommend it. What's also going to be a good time is hopping on into the game here because it's time to get train underway. Rebels starting on the attack, looking like they want a little bit of a B play. You've got Innocent just holding for the flank, maybe throwing a little bit of a fake smoke at some point, but aggressive play from Sashi, taking some space into the brown holes. Want to stop this in its tracks.
Where's this smoke gonna go? Is it for B, or is this more of a semi-fake to clear out B, then head down the pop dog sort of position? I guess we'll see, because for the moment, Innocent is not going to be a factor in this late round if they're going to end B.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I mean, anticipating the Ivy wrap, but at this point, you can't be... Okay, here's the smoke. All the way deep on in. They get the kill on Nico, so that's a good pinch, but Cabby's still here. And now Cabby reveals himself. Iceberg to support. Don't think that smoke went quite where they wanted it to. And what it means right now is that bomb is very compromised. You need some kills. Innocent going to try and deliver them. But he got 2 to his name. Sending his teammate over to try and retrieve that C4, but Sobel's been spotted. He's out in the open. Innocent. Positioning pays off. Well, ham-fisted with the bullets, but it's all good if you find the headshot you need. And at this point, they leave. Oh my goodness. Innocent just trying to keep the Bard out of the A site. And it's too late for Lucky that he's realized what's going on here.
Wow.
Wow, what a shot. Sobel, headshot or bust. Headshot or bust here. Man, it's headshots indeed.
What a brutal pistol round. I can't help feeling that Rebels didn't make their lives easy with the way they set up that round. I'm not sure if... I'm not super well acquainted with this iteration of Nuke. I'm not you must be able to throw a connector smoke from upper B without having to do it from outside of A like he did. But yeah, I mean, Sashi just couldn't hit a shot for the life of them at the end. Only Lucky with that one tap. They just got absolutely shredded despite having... I think it was a 4-on-2 at one point that round. They would be very disappointed not to have won pistol.
Yeah.
So you mentioned, Mike, earlier that, you know, in your open teams, you would have like 2 strats and you just play it out for the whole map. Well, back in the day, when I coached collegiate, we had 2 rounds. It was Mouse A and Mouse B. And Mouse B was exactly the same as Mouse A, but you run B with the same nades. And I kid you not, we won tournaments with those rounds. All you need
is one good execute. Speaking of which, Cabby's going to have the bomb and a kill. Can't get the kill. That would have been the bomb. That would have been really bad. That's the Ivy walkout that Innocent was holding for in the pistol round. To get it this time, but, you know, just a USP. Can't quite do anything with it. Yeah, look, a few good strats at the low tier of play will get you all the way, frankly.
It was actually a pretty baller strat. It was a fast round through Pop Dog with early smokes. And it caught the teams off guard that weren't really sure what was going on. Especially when we ran B. That was the absolute ruse.
Just learn like one smoke for every site, gang, and your matchmaking games will get a lot better. One smoke, one flash.
Well, make sure it's a good one.
Yeah, don't spend your time learning a useless smoke. Like that one that Innocent threw that split the middle of Z, but either defender would be on the other side of the smoke.
Left him a marathon distance from the bomb side.
Yes.
It worked out! It worked out. But I don't think that was quite what they wanted to do. Kisarek has taken a ton of damage early on. That was just off of the T-Con mollies. I don't even know if he got tagged on spam. He was really committed to putting a nade down and suffered a lot of damage as a result. So not sure that's going to be the exchange rate they were hoping for. But body's still up. Utility's still available. There's still chances. Going to start to deploy those smokes, but this smoke's not really going to do much, seeing as Sashi are playing ahead of it.
Well, we like to take a map control. Makes Sashi feel a bit more confident playing with 3 on A. You'd like it to be 4 if you were scared of a hit, but they're not scared now. So I think they'll just hold station, I guess. and let Rebels make the next move. Clearly, the impetus can be towards this B-bomb site. And we'll see what Lucky and Nico can offer with this 1-2 punch setup.
The only problem is the A players are so deeply committed that rotation, if you lose these fights on B, is going to take so long. It's just going to take ages. Timely Molotov to at least split this attack. Here comes the move. Quick kills would shut it down, but they come the way of Sashi. So now you've got plenty of time for these rotates. They're not even going to bother with Z. Flay's trying to make some inroads, but this is... it's not working anymore, right? The idea did not function, and they don't seem to have a plan B. So they're going to recommit to plan A. That is fortunate for Innocent, but Kisarek lost elsewhere. That damage early on comes back to cost them, and it is going to be the cleanup as the reinforcements are now here.
Kind of went as planned, didn't it? As soon as Sashi got those early kills and the execute, there was just no momentum left in Rebels as they streamed out one by one. I'm just a bit surprised they didn't get more out of that round. I wonder if... I don't think there was a molly on ramp. It was... Nico was the player playing up close.
No,
he had
they dropped
easy
one. They dropped a molly right as the hit was coming through, as the util was coming out of B-hole. So it was actually perfect time.
Something was wrong with that execute. Maybe they should have been more explosive, but I just don't think Nico should have got free pass to look towards heaven and have his back to ramp.
Didn't seem like, I mean, with the util thrown as well, I don't know whether there was a flash thrown, it was just ineffective, but it seemed to be behind the CT players as well. So you are definitely seeing with a lot of teams that there's just, util isn't quite, like we've had train for a while now, right? But the map's not entirely solved. Teams are still experimenting and shifting the depth of utility in a lot of these takes. And so everything's not quite as buttoned up as it is sometimes in Counter-Strike. Cabby! Right idea. Not quite deep enough on the peak, so he doesn't actually get much out of it, but the information is certainly valuable. Tomiko's name, if you look above him, it's Turbo Yabaka, I think?
I need to see it again.
Come on, look towards IV's iPhone, please. For us. It wouldn't be good for your team, but it would be good for us right now. Look at that timing on these smokes. Oh, it's a little wide. Okay, never mind. I was going to compliment the utility, but actually, bad utility. Bad job, Zyphon. Slap on the wrist. Now the A site under pressure. Sobel can't quite find the killing blow, and now Lucky back at the train car. Gonna be doing some serious damage. Oh boy. That one is just Lucky getting one more kill than he should in that position, leading to it falling apart for Rebels.
Yeah, also just had no nades left. That was a pretty borderline investment from Rebels. And they lacked the final util in those dying stages. A couple extra smokes would have come in very handy. But yeah, site players playing well. So I think some good individual rounds. Not to say the team play was bad, but individuals have looked very good from Sashi on these last two gun rounds. Locking down against the hits. It's going to force Rebels onto the eco. And of course, a lot of CS left to be played here on train. But if Sashi can get off to a good start, we certainly don't favour them to win train. And it would change the face of this veto. They could cause an upset.
Well, they picked the right site. They've got the bomb crossed. They're going to be able to plant this. So, mission successful. Not a lot more beyond that. One kill. Bomb plants. Not the worst thing.
Turbo Yabaka.
Turbo Yabaka.
Whatever that means.
I can't say that I know.
Hopefully, something family friendly.
Based on what generally happens to me these days, it's probably a TikTok meme that I don't understand because I'm so old and out of date.
Stay true to yourself. That's what matters. It's just a fad, Mike. There'll be another app next year and the year after. And then we'll be even more out of the loop.
And I'll be too tired to deal with that one too.
And you'll just retire.
No.
On a boat.
It's time for my TikTok creator arc, Alan.
Is it? Is it now?
Commentary, but in 60-second clips over household.
Yeah, exactly.
Activities.
You'll be commentating, thinking about the TikTok clips the whole time.
I find a TikTok trend, like a dance, and then I do live commentary over it.
That would be a career change. But nonetheless entertaining, so I'll get behind that.
Oh, I love this boost. I love this boost that some teams do. It's super exposed to T-Con, which is the problem. But you're going to have Iceberg take up the deep angle into that, so they should have the early warning system for Zyphon to bail. I love this angle. It's just such a rat thing that you're just almost never clearing it. Let's see if it catches him.
I am nervous, though. I mean, he can't fall out.
Oh, Innocent's crouching under it. He checked! No, he was looking down. As most players would be, and that's the power of that boost. So well done for Zyphon. Executed to perfection. And once again, Rebels, by the time they're actually going for the site hit, it's 2 Molotovs, 1 flashbang. They need kills, but kills they will find. Honestly, extraordinary the amount of work they're getting done without smokes. I suppose the smokes were still up. But
Yeah, I mean,
all of the CTs had exposed sightlines.
the CTs, they were quite spread, though. They had 2 committed hard B. Train's not an easy... Train A is not necessarily, at least in this iteration, super easy to hold if you lose the first man. Not a lot of really sneaky angles anymore. You can just sit in and cause havoc and wait for those rotations. It's a bit more simplified, I guess, is the way to phrase it. This current version. So, kind of overwhelmed in the end. It's a nice boost, don't get me wrong, but I think you might have seen in that round that it's not necessarily super easy to play off your teammates. Even if you get a kill, you're just in no man's land.
You are hyper committed to the pop kill. If they get IV control or T-Con, good luck. But when it plays out like that, oh, it's a thing of beauty. And you just know the player you killed is mad. Mad for dying to that spot. We did get a little bit of a scoop, courtesy of our wonderful production team. And apparently, the name is, in fact, something less than polite, is what we've learned here. So,
Brilliant.
shoutouts to Miko for that one.
Yep. Put that on
Happy to
TikTok.
have said that on broadcast.
Let me have a look. How bad was it?
Not too bad. I mean, I guess it's all about context, right?
Oh, I assumed it was something kind of anime related. It's not.
Nope. It
Well,
all
at least
just
he's
has to do with
turbocharged.
context.
That's all that matters.
That's all that matters.
This feels like a very slow game of Train to me. The games I've seen of Train is pretty pacey. This one, a lot of these slow rounds. This round, of course, Iceberg gets in a pretty critical position. How does he get that 3rd kill? How does he kill Sobel? What's going on?
Ridiculous. That's quite ridiculous. I mean, they just got completely compromised. The late T-Con control, it could not have been more perfectly timed. If it's off by half a second either way, likely that Rebels catch that kill and then you're in trouble, but perfect timing to just slip through. And I mean, that's all you need. That's all you need at that point. For Rebels, this slower pace of play means that when they actually do commit to something, it's kind of the last option. They have to make it work. There's not a lot of chance to change the script.
Given they won pistol, this T side hasn't really panned out yet for Rebels. Going to change the look this time around. Be heavy focus. It's just Nico here. Now Zyphon starts to peel off. Lucky's on his way too, so if Nico can just delay 2-3 seconds to get in a better position. This could go very, very well. Finds his man, Molly down, Lucky's here. That is perfect. Absolutely perfect. Couldn't have timed it any better.
Great rotations out. Great protocols out from Sashi. Just players in the perfect place to know what the timing is going to be of the hits from Rebels. It does feel like one of those plays where you just have like a stopwatch going, you know? It's like, okay, 15 seconds in the round, begin my rotation. 20 seconds into the round, I am crossing into the site. 30 seconds, scoped up, and you're dead. And you're dead.
Ooh.
Goodbye. Oh, should be shot in the back. Should be shot in the back. Should be shot in the... Oh.
What's going on?
Oh, just leave. Just leave. Just leave. You missed your chances. Just save the op. Live. Laugh. Love.
I'm not sure he's laughing after that round. Wowzers.
But is
You can tell it was a read from Sashi. A two-man rotation, fair enough. I mean, going 2B on this map, far from unusual as the norm, in fact. But going for the third player, that only happens if they're quite confident either of information, map control, or I suspect, more than anything, just what haven't Rebels tried yet? Well, an early B round. And, you know, it was adding up with what they were seeing. So good calls and good rotations. That's how it's done.
Oh, I'm
He's
stressed.
okay. He's okay.
He even got the molly. That was a ballsy bit of repositioning. All good. All right, so they have an op to play around. They do not have much else. Timeout's going to be used here because, I mean, living Flay has no cash. So it's like, all right, do we chase this? And if so, how do we actually maximize? This is a good time to use a timeout for sure. I haven't been wildly impressed with this T side from Rebels. What do you think, Alan?
It's a bit uninspiring. That said, Train... I mean, I haven't watched enormous amounts of this iteration. I can't imagine it's completely different from the old. It's a bit like T-side Nuke. It's like you have to really work. You know, you have to really work to put the CTs in a bad position or to catch them off guard or to get space early. It's not Dust 2 where you just take your long spawns. And I don't think we've seen Rebels work yet to get map control or to make Sashi uncomfortable. We did a lot of rounds with, what has it been, 20 seconds to go and we just hit the site with a group with numbers. It's not a lot of manipulation of rotations or getting a player out main early or, you know, working Ivy, then hitting Pop Dog at an opportune timing where they, you know, it's easy to caught in transition. It's been quite a comfortable path so far, I think, for Sashi on these gun rounds. I don't think they've really been tested that many times.
Seems like we're going to get Ivy control this time around. It is Lucky posted, and you don't have a flash, so good luck. There's a phrase. It's fish in a barrel. They run boosted to try and get past them the first time. Didn't work. Lucky pretty quick with it. So they're like, okay, well, the op is there.
Where next?
Flay is dead. He's the one who saved the op through. At least we got that back. Maybe we try something else.
There is a case, I think, for saving it again. I don't really know what you do here. I don't know how they get a good engagement. Run down, let the AWP peek on towards connector. Seems like the only option. And Nico absolutely shreds. That has not worked. Cabby's trying to be a superhero. More like a villain at the moment. That was terrifying.
It was indeed. Oh! Cheeky! Same team! Same team, Sashi! What are we doing here?
That AWP save was all well and good, but it has thrown the money out of balance. Flay's onto the dig. I guess the util is good.
Yeah.
And maybe they should have paused, Mike, because as I was saying, it's just been completely uninspiring, this T-side, with the rifles.
I'd imagine they're still operating off of whatever they discussed in the pause after the op save. Last round, last freeze time.
That is true.
But you do question what they discussed during it, right? We'd like to see it now. Some sort of an adjustment. Maybe some sort of a pacier play. That we're not going to get, clearly, as they're spreading a default initially. And that means that Nico has now taken space on the smoke fade. If he just has the vision, they're going to know everything. Sobo wants to come back to fight it.
at some
Nico playing
point,
tucked.
these B players from Sashi will start making a move. That is the real question in this round right now. When do they
Zyphon with
activate?
this deep T-con control as well. Now the smoke comes up and over. Somebody's going to activate, and Nico's going to start to move over. And that actually allows Lucky to adjust back in towards Z. So, Sobol, do they bail now? Do they bail? You've only got 50 seconds, but he's just gotten this kill on the aggressive B player. Now you catch the one in towards T-con as Sashi try and recover information. But 45 seconds, you're still trying to make your way out Ivy, and that's a danger spot. This bomb has a lot of real estate to cover to get back into anything meaningful. And meanwhile, look, they've got B. Oh boy. You have to commit to the B control now. You've got a player in towards T-con, or CT rather. You should have everything. You see that Innocent comes back up to make sure someone can't walk Pop Dog on them. That's the biggest threat. And now the bomb's going to be planted, and Sashi are very far afield. So this still should be good positioning for Rebels.
Slightly bizarre late round. But no harm, no foul. Iceberg sticks around. Does drop Kisarek. I mean, they do have kits, but they don't really look shaped up for a retake. More so playing for exits, and we do like this. Limit the economy. Force some Galils, perhaps, down the line. Not too bad. Sashi might have lost this round, but I really don't dislike how they played it. They're the team that changed the look. They're the team that opened up with 2B. They're the team that, on the A pressure, left a solo player pushing B and went 4A. If you look at it on a flowchart, I can't point out the fault. They just lost one duel on B and lost the round.
Just again, the protocols do look very good here for Sashi, but at some point you got to shoot.
It happens, it happens. I'm just saying that I think their macro has been a lot better than Rebels this game.
I would tend to agree. It just feels
CT
more
biased,
active as
yeah,
well, right?
You shouldn't feel like the CT team is the more aggressive squad.
Yeah.
And I do feel like that right now.
It feels like they're usually playing with more information, more cards revealed to them. It is just very unusual. It's a facet of Rebels playing this very spread default at the beginning of so many rounds. You know, letting the first minute go off the clock without a lot to show for it. This time, Sobol's got Pop Dog control. That's the aggressive positioning. And Innocent's just watching to see if Sashi want to get cheeky. Like Nico did on the push last time. Can't imagine they're going to go for it 2 times in a row, though. And it
But this
does feel
time
like
instead,
this is going to
they
be
just
an A
left.
take.
You see, there's left Nico in uppers, 4 on A, but they're so grouped around this backside of the site. They lost a lot of ground already, and that was a critical fight. Zyphon's gone. Nico is taking B space, but can he get here in time? Because these A guys are absolutely pinned into this little cubby, aren't they?
They are. Fortunate neither of those Molotovs was for a little bit of a shallower angle. I don't know if that was intentional or a little bit of a miscomm there. Bomb down, though. And it should be Kisarek to just hold him in, but he's got responsibility for Pop as well, fortunately for Kisarek. Gotta be looking the right way at the right time. And now how do you get past this? Just a nightmare crossfire once you get in towards Sandwich. Not a sandwich you want to take a bite out of. Sobol. Very good on the headshotting and such. And Rebels going to close the gap to just 1.
The rounds they're winning are these simpler rounds. The slow executes are not working, but the rounds where they just get players Ivy, main, Pop Dog, and just, you know, use weight of numbers essentially to overwhelm. As we've mentioned before, the A bomb site doesn't have nearly as many positions as it used to. So you can get out and get some control. It looks good, of course. Stumbling over each other there towards Hell didn't help for Sashi. And now they're scrambling to get 7 out of this half. Iceberg opens up. It's them again to be the proactive team. It nests them an opener. And now Rebels, a team that hasn't found a lot of success on the back foot, are going to try and make it work.
Ouch. That's a painful one for Lucky. Jiggled thinking it was a little bit more of a swing. But Innocent short stops on him. And now B-side very much compromised. Innocent takes it maybe a step too far, but he wanted that forward space. And the problem is now they're losing the bodies. Kisarek thinks they're closer than they are. Or anticipates a Molotov coming in. That little hezzy step will not cost him a bomb plant. Still the plant, they can concede. They want the round. Zyphon needs to rotate. But if his teammates can just take care of the work before he gets here, it'll be all okay. At this point, if a Molotov goes in for Flay, he's in a lot of trouble. There's a smoke for the bomb. They know where he is. They should just molly this. And yes, has to commit. Knows he has to commit. And Sashi will exploit. So 2-round gap for Sashi Esport as we head to the break.
Safety nets are overrated. Yeah. If you make one, you will fall. Too much of a temptation. Yeah. There's a comfort in the crawl. Now I've been on my feet too long. I know I'm strong. Just looking for some solid ground. So I can start to run. I don't wanna be tired, moving toward my pride. I don't wanna be tired. Feels like it's my time. I don't need your light.
Back in for the second half. As we might have some turbo CS coming through from Tamiko and Rebels Gaming. Sashi going quick with it. In towards the pop. And it makes sense. Their coach is literally named the dog. So here we move. Zyphon around Iceberg. First kill found. Looking for all this space, and they've got it. Oh my goodness, they've got it. Time for a bomb plant, methinks, but Zyphon's going to do some more work before they get to that point. And now it falls to just Sobel. The good news is, Alan, he has a kit. The bad news is I don't think he's going to get to use it.
No, sir. Well, if that round's going to set the tone for Sashi's T side, I think we're here for it because we need a bit of spice
Life.
on the offense. This is dangerous territory now for Rebels. Train was virtually a lock in this veto for them to win it.
Well,
That might be a bit extreme, but in terms of if they're going to win this series, it needed to be theirs.
Yes, I think that I'll agree with you. I think in terms of their game plan when they woke up this morning, they were thinking, train's a sure thing.
As we also mentioned, they just don't have that many reps. And potentially they're playing a team that is a lot more proactive than they're used to, or for whatever reasons. It's caused
they
problems.
say they learn the most. You learn the more from a loss than a win. And if you've played train 14 times and you're losing,
Does that mean Sashi's learned a lot?
70% of it, they're learning. They are doing some
They're definitely
serious
learning. It's all well and good, that mantra, but when you've lost enough games, I can assure you, it doesn't feel like fun anymore.
Diving into the numbers, they actually had a match against Rebels back in January. So this is a while ago. No one really knew how to play train at that point. But that was a 13-16 overtime game where the Rebels took it. So maybe that informed their decision to go to it this time around. But it's certainly not starting well for them in the second half. Guns are going to come out. And you're just going to kind of get to see a situation where we don't quite... It's not a must-win, but it's just about a must-win here, Alan.
It's pretty scary if they can't turn this around. It's Sashi to call a pause.
Interesting.
Okay. It could be because they got 2 Mac 10s, and they're thinking, what is a fast, pacey round we can run to bring these into play? We don't want to run a slow standard round where we take Pop Dog and Main and then split A or whatever, because we can't win the long range duels. So
I also just like the idea from recognizing the situation in the meta of the map of saying, if we win this round, we're pretty much, you're looking at like a 70% chance to just roll over the last few and win the map in general. So putting extra emphasis on this round feels good. Making sure everyone's on the same page. You like it. What would you tell them, Alan?
More of the same. Really. I'd probably run a fast round. Rebels don't look terribly comfortable with me right now in gunfights, so overwhelm, intimidate, frighten.
So if I'm trying to do exactly that. Good flash. Better trade. Oh, this molly could be nightmarish. Oh, boy. Players are ticking. They're burning. How is Kisarek alive? They're not going to expect him here. He should have been burning from that molly. He's stuck on top of something. So maybe Kisarek is the key piece here, but it has to be Sobel to open up the door for him. Sobel will do exactly that, but at the cost of a dink back the other way. Health is not inspiring here. These Rebels players, and now it does just fall to Kisarek, and his position has been revealed. Element of surprise gone. MP9 or bust. Bust it will be.
Basically what I said. I'm not a fan of how Rebels positioned. Look how the round unfolded. They had one player E-box, and then everybody else was either under where Heaven used to be, or the bomb train, or stuck in the connector. There was no way to help the E-box player, and no way to crossfire, and they just got completely enveloped. It's been a funky map for Rebels. I don't know if they're a bit off today, but they do not look like a well-versed train team to me. I know that sounds brutal, but just too many situations where they've been outplayed.
Certainly it seemed to be that. And now you're just in that situation, that miserable situation on the CT side where you just really don't have enough time to get the firepower you need to have the ideal round. Even the armor investments into this one feel a bit much. You could justify it with some kills. Sobel's got one. Kind of feels like that might be it.
Really taking no risks here.
Sobel's going all the way around and towards T-Con.
Don't really know what they're waiting for. You might as well tap the bomb. Let somebody rear their head.
They're waiting for this. Oh no, he looks away. And back.
Oh, and
He lost
Sobel
the
still
duel.
gets a kill. All right, hang on. Hang on. Hang off.
You got to peek at some point, Flight.
I assume he's waiting for an exit, but...
It's hardly compelling entertainment at the
Come on,
moment.
Flay. Do something.
My lord.
Poke him with a stick. He might get this exit unlucky, genuinely. All right, Lucky's clearing out. Now you're finally going to peek. You might as well die with that bomb. Certainly don't want to save here. There's nothing to it. And okay. All that waiting for not a lot to show.
Yeah. This is just miserable for Rebels at the moment. Crikey. Well, irrespective of winning train or not, they just need to win some damn rounds. They won Piston. Didn't they go 3-0 up at the start of the first half? 2 rounds since then. That's not good enough on your map pick.
Not ideal.
What's going on with that smoke? Intentional to block a molly?
Yeah, maybe if you anticipated it, put the threat in. You have the sandwich smoke up, but the thing is just that Rebels are playing ahead of it, so... You don't really have that threat, but you're trying to put that down in their minds, perhaps. As it is, all the pressure's on Sobel here. On the inner site. Innocent rotates into support. Utility's starting to get a little thin here for the Rebels. And Sashi pumping the brakes from these fast plays have drained a lot of the nades, but they concede this very aggressive decon control. So there's something brewing here, perhaps.
I'm still a bit confused by these rotates. The CT rotates is they have a main, yet they want to play 4A. Now, it looks, we know that's correct off the minimap, but I'm not totally sure how they do. And now you can see Innocent peels because he's thinking, we haven't seen enough here on A. And just at the wrong time, these A players are moving all over the shop. Let's see if they can reposition back in time. Kisarek is way out in the open. He could get instantly fragged if his main player is looking in the right direction. Here comes Iceberg and wowzers. That is not how you hold a bomb site train. This is a train wreck.
Might just be the last one. Full derailment, perhaps, but that is the bomb dropped. Hold on. They're out of time. They're out of time. 8 seconds, 7 seconds. They can't get this round. They just do not have the clock for it, and they don't have the lives. So Sashi tried to take a page out of Rebels' book, playing that slow game, but they found a few seconds on the clock, despite the early success here.
I feel like they should have won that. Iceberg handed them the round. You can see all the deaths. They're all just next to bomb train. They must have got crossfired without enough util down. Slightly bizarre. Still, though, it feels like we're delaying the inevitable here. So let's see what Sashi have to offer this time. Sandwich smoke down early molly to prevent any B aggression. It's just their default util. And grouping early here. Could be a very quick B hit on the cards.
Didn't quite go as deep as you want. Those stairs are really messy with HEs. Uh-oh, they're through. They're through. Good pop-up from Thomas, though. Nice kill found. Sobel locking this down. And here we go. 4 kills found from Sobel. We get a chance for Rebels to really show us why they wanted this map. The money's gone for Sashi. Rebels have all the cash they want, all the util they want. They can make a run.
Sobel has 1 less kill than the rest of his team. That's what we describe as imbalanced. Far from ideal. Eco is forced. Last round had a good rotation too from Rebels. They took a little bit of a gamble, stacking 2B early. And that was correct. Good read. Oh, that's going to sting.
Ouch. Don't let it get infected. Can't let that wound fester in your minds. So 3 deagles there, certainly still danger in this. Try to get the information back here, but nobody's revealing himself. Sashi playing with the clock again. Kabi's gonna be dead for it. Lifon didn't feel confident enough to keep his teammate clean, and now they know they have a player pointed into the corner. With that kill found, that's the bomb. That is all of the danger taken out of this round. So despite that nice early dig shot from Lucky, it should be nothing to show for it. Perhaps damage? The nade will make sure not.
Okay, let's find out if we're going to have a map of CS on our hands or not.
I think we've already got it.
We're in the territory. We're in the territory in this Sashi versus Sobel SmackDown here on Train.
Got it. Exacting standards, Alan.
Let's see. They're still millimeters from disaster. Maybe we'll scope for mistakes. They have some money though. That is handy. Early util dispensed. I think Sashi double mollied Pop Dog for some reason. One of them airbursted, I believe. Not ideal. But that is. Cabby opens up. 1 man left to find, and he makes it 2 for 2. This is really tough now for Rebels. What do you do? I guess you just stack a site and pray they come your way.
Yeah, it's pretty much where we're at. The big idea here was to go for that aggressive IV play, and Cabby just denied. On a really nice map of counter himself. But now it's desperation. You need a hero play back the other way. It's been Sobel who's been that hero when Rebels require it. Gonna telegraph his position with that Molotov, but it might allow his teammates out. It does cost him his own life. Slam through the smoke with bomb down as well. This is a nightmare. Srek opens up the door of this becoming a round, but they're gonna back away. Doesn't seem like they've got the appetite to go for it. There is some money to spare here for the Rebels, but if you want to field that op, that gets expensive very quickly.
Just absolutely nuclear stuff there from Cabby. Rebels players never stood a chance. And that's going to put them now on map point. A reminder, Rebels pick here is Train. We like the rest of the Veto 2 for Sashi. Mike. Okay.
Oh boy.
Nobody panic. Nobody panic. I'm not sure he had time.
Yeah. Maybe, though. And hope is what kills you. Hope is what gets you.
Very
Surprised they're not
optimistic
dropping off on
message
it.
for the fans.
There it is. Okay, the op did in fact get dropped over. I was wondering what was going on there. Flay has had an uninspiring map of Train. If there was something that was going to light the way back into this for Rebels, the op coming alive would be a big one. It is still a gun that we expect to have pretty outsized impact on this map. Even with
I like the
PC
default
play with
util.
CCT.
The default util from Sashi makes Rebels so uncomfortable early on. I wonder if it's what we saw earlier on when they were all around the bomb train. This Molly and Nade combo really forces them back to the bomb train. And you can just see, look at the mini-map on A. They just have no information. It's forced them to play B retake as well. Look, Sobel's playing off the site on B, and that's because they don't know what's happening on A. Rebels need to get... Rebels need to get some information before this round really gets into the later stages.
They've got deep vision in towards T-Con at this point, and they're leaving Ivy vacant, so they're confident about that. If there was Ivy presence, this would be a super compromised setup, but there's not. There's a fake being thrown on A that'll pull the fourth rotator back in, but that's all just to set up this B hit. Iceberg will commit himself to really selling that B hit, but here comes the move. It's all onto Sobel. Gotta be the hero, or it might just be 0-1. But Sobel steps up. Far from 0 on this. Nico and Lucky still making it difficult, but Sobel is alive. And he's the problem. He's going to prevent them from being able to plant that bomb while Flay gets into position. Sobel Can't get it done because Lucky's posted up on his teammate. It was supposed to be a crossfire. Now it's a 1v1 between the Oppers. 10 seconds. There's no time for this. There's no time for this at all. Bombs retrieved, but can Lucky get to a position where he can actually plant this in time? Yes. Only just. Half a second to spare, but it's all that he needs. And does Lucky realize how far out Flay has already gone? In towards oil. No. Lucky has no clue. Lucky has no clue. And so it will be Rebels who live to fight another day. It took everything they had, but they do survive. And Sobel stands up strong once again.
Good round from Flay as well. Someone who rightly has come under fire from us here in the commentary booth. I think over this map. It's a little bit better. Still, though, feels to me like we're holding on by a knife edge. There was a lot of... 10 seconds earlier, and Rebels would have been really out of position for that B hit. Now, what is up with this buy from Sashi? Because some of the guys are not all in. It's a half buy, really. And they're just buying the nades they need straight into B. A lot of space already gained. Look at this man running up towards Connect. It doesn't make it very far. So one thing about hitting B is, well, that's where Sobel was playing, and he causes so many problems.
It is ridiculous, the impact he's having. Cabby's got an interesting spot. They've all gone past him, which is weird. It holds Innocent. And that's a massive kill from Nico. But Cabby, not sure what he was looking at. Innocent comes back to clear. Nico, though, still just being the wrecking ball on the site itself. Kisrek and Flay, they need to get this space. And it falls to Lucky to defend. We'll have the angle on that bomb. There's no Molotov to hold him off, so they're just going to try and play with the sight lines. Kisrek posted. And that will be enough. Defuse on 10 rounds found. Again, it's Sobel. You're absolutely right. It's like, okay, we know there's only one playing B. Unfortunately for us, he is by far the best one. Nobody else on his team is above 10 kills. Sobel's approaching 30.
We need to talk about that buy, though, from Sashi, because, man alive, they got a plant.
Yeah.
They got a plant. You don't need a maths degree to do the sums. Somehow they bought themselves into a position here where they can't full buy.
They're doing it again. They're doing a half buy here.
I think they need a new accountant.
So.
What's going on? How are we forcing twice this late into the game? What's going on?
It's very odd. It is very odd.
Tech9's out. I mean, look, honestly, I thought it was a great call in the last one. You actually do get so much space, and it's all of the right ideas, right? You get Iceberg is supposed to be is that thrust up the sidewalk. It works. He gets far forward. The problem is his teammates don't hold up their end of the bargain. The first guy gets spammed through smoke. The other two don't come through that smoke and towards to kill Sobel quickly. So then Iceberg gets wrapped or gets shot in the back. This time they're going to try and hit the fast outer play. Why not? No Sobel here. Except he's rotating. And, well, there are 4 players. Gonna need some headshots. Headshots not to be found. That rifle is down for the count. This one is looking locked in for Rebels. Come to the end of regulation. Kisarek picking up the 4K in this one. And one more round determines the fate. Will we get to overtime? Can Rebels pull this off? Or can Sashi close?
I think Sobel's going to need a medal. They recover this map.
Yeah.
Just been phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. Okay, round 24. Still can't take our eyes off the prize here. If Sashi can win this round, that is a huge stride towards winning this series and staying alive in this season of Challenger League. Lose it, God forbid, after all this effort. That is going to sting. Finish it now. Do not let this game slip into overtime and let Rebels stabilize. They got so much confidence to play 4A. without any info, really. They got some sight lines, I guess, onto A main, but they don't know anything about Pop Dog. Now burning Util, tit for tat in Ivy, so again, not massive awareness of what's going on out there.
I think you just put that massive faith in Sobel. It's been rewarded repeatedly here. And again, Fear of Sobel is going to send them in towards the outer yard, it seems. Timely smoke. That's really well done from Tomiko. Molotov going to come in. Sorry, that was a smoke indeed. And so Flay actually does catch a dink, but gets his shot off before dropping. That's what they needed. Nice pre-fire attempted. Kills starting to stack up here. Tomiko under threat. Tomiko cannot stay alive for long, but somehow dances between the crosshairs, allows Innocent to come into the angle as well, and we are going to overtime here, Alan. We're getting more rounds. How on earth have they done this? How did Tomiko stay alive?
Many questions. It's got to be said in that last round, I don't know if it was a guess that they'd only be 3A at that point, but Rebels were so well positioned come the hit. Okay, well, the cavalry has woken up a little bit here for Rebels. They're going to need a more consistent output. You can't rely on Sobel to get you through this overtime alone.
No. I mean, the outer hold has been stepping up. But the reality is a big part of that is just that they haven't gone towards Sobel's bomb site. They were randomly smacked enough times. This time you could even see Innocent wanted to shift over to support on towards B, but they've seen enough now outside, and Sobel hasn't seen anything in the brown holes that he's going to come back to focus on this Ivy presence, knowing that there's players here. The pace change is pretty extraordinary, right? They've been slowed way down. And now Flay holding on to this positioning here. In towards Pop. Smoke to set up an escape route. Knows he's getting run down. Still gets the kill. Questions being asked here at Ivy, but it is just the one man that they really have to contend with. And as that smoke fades, who else but Sobel on the spot to deal with it. It falls to Cabby. 1v3. Player in Pop. Player back bomb. Player playing Icon. And Cabby needing to somehow find a way in towards the bomb plane. Well, that will help. Sobel trying to get some information. Gives himself up largely for free. But Kisarek unexpected in the heaven spot.
So hard to make these Ivy rounds work. Really difficult to get out of Ivy. And then link up with your you know, concurrent players in towards Pop Dog and main. Saw it in this round. Can't get good fights. There's so many off angles the CTs can play, and they get absolutely shredded to do the T-side players. Try and take their space. So, first punch goes the way of the poles. Turbo engaged. And they're pumping.
Do love a good pump. Oh, they're going to pressure Sobel. No, sorry, it's in towards Pop. I got excited for a second. Thought we got to actually see Sobel get a chance to fight. Still might do.
Yeah, remember last round, Flay got into Pop Dog. Probably the first time during this map because of the early util. This time, very different. Look at this. Sashi, they're going to go through this smoke. One flashbang and they're off. Straight through Kisarek. Lucky to be alive, to be honest. That flash caught him badly. But without much support of util down, they have to win these opening engagements. They've got to gain ground. And it is just an absolute brutal contest. And Flay, what a round from him. That said, it was the perfect round to be AWPing from that position because there was no util heading his direction.
But he had to rotate in. He was out of position. He was completely caught out. He was playing in towards B with Sobel more.
So, I mean, it's really a huge piece of that. It's just one kill, but for Innocent, buying the time, getting that kill, stuck in towards Hell with a molly coming his way, knowing that he's dead, but committing to getting one more. Massive. They're going to field the double up again. So, interesting to see. Arcadia player to watch. Showing on the double op now.
I was going to choose
Flame was
Sobel earlier, so I do regret it. Stakes are made. As in this round, my god, Sashi are playing angry after ceding a lot of rounds now on the trot. Want to make amends. Finally get a terrorist point in the bag.
And Alan, this is what was working in regulation, right? This hit comes with only 40 seconds into the round. The pacier play found a lot of success.
I mean, the round
when
before,
they seem to slow it down.
I actually really liked the round where they came through the pop dog smoke. It was honestly, if first man in is looking towards Kisarek, they win that round. They would have absolutely walked over the A-bomb site. So certainly the pacier rounds are more favourable for Sashi there. There's no doubt about that.
Well, one round found at least in this half of play, as they will swap sides. And now Rebels, we weren't particularly inspired by what they were bringing on the attack. We need to show us a little bit more.
That is true. They also won pistol and converted it on that first half. So in terms of gun rounds, haven't seen much success them on the offense. It's going to be harder to rely on Sobel as well. So let's see. Early smoke sandwich. Smoke towards Pop Dog as well, the looks of it. I'm not sure that Pop Dog smoke has gone quite where it was intended. I think it was meant to be a connector smoke. Doesn't matter. Nico's dead. B-bomb site enveloped. There is a flank from Iceberg. And frankly, that flank needs to be miraculous, I think, to win this round.
No one's checking. No one's checking. Oh, boy. Only gets the one before being revealed. Now they're just trying to scurry to find some cover, to find some safe haven. A little bit awkward. Sets up Cabby for another, but now peeking back out top, it is Flay. To slay his enemies. Falls to Lucky. But the trade is there. Nicely done from the op, providing oversight on top. And that is, at the very least, another period of overtime secured here as we go back to map point. Not series point. It's still map one overlay. It's still
That was a hella chaotic round. I've got a hunch they missed their smoke. I think it might have been the same as their pistol round smoke, but instead it landed on top of Pop Dog. Who knows? All a bit bizarre.
But if it works, it works. Sandwich smoke early here. I want to take some space outside.
Where was this in regulation?
Look at how much pacier it is. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, look, he swapped spots with them. This timing is brutal now. One. Here's Cabby as well. Tons of information here. The question is, when do you pull the trigger? Innocent wants two. Innocent's going to have to. Oh, my goodness. Ah, can't pay it off. Can't pay it off. Love the idea, but now the kills are stacking up the other way, and this is so unfortunate. Oh, no. Innocent. You're anything but. You're guilty of the whiff in this one, and it's going to cost you the chance to close the map.
It's really the Ivy fights that determined the round. Had Rebels not lost players Ivy, Innocent is so powerful. He can just frag in whichever direction he chooses and open up that avenue for his team. As we mentioned in the round, what a different look to regulation. Orders of magnitude more aggressive they've been in this overtime.
Slowing it down in this one. I just love that maneuvering through the smoke.
What was The score was
the
it
idea, the concept of
16-13
it.
Rebels last time?
Yes, it was indeed. So we're repeating, more or less.
Real slow round here. So upper on B is claimed. Some util here onto the tank engine.
Do not light your tank engines on fire, folks.
No.
Very
Not
bad for the
recommended.
safety of the train.
Although that one doesn't look like it's moved for a long time. In fact, how does a train get out of the B-bomb site and back onto the real rails?
Ooh. Had not thought about that. Gonna have to do some more examination. Presumably there's doors by... Hold on. Kills are coming in. We'll talk about this later. As it does look like it's good for Sashi. Falls to Flay. Well, he's had a good map, but not that great. We're going for more. We're going for more overtime. And that means, Alan, that we have time to talk about how trains get into the B-bomb site. I'd imagine there has to be some sort of a giant shutter or gate by what B-Halls is above. Right? That's the only way
Let's
that
see,
makes sense.
because in my head I was thinking it must be this side. It must be the CT Sports side, but it's
No,
not.
this is pavement.
That's a pretty solid wall there.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it has to be. It has to be.
Yeah,
'cause
you have
think about you're coming out from above, right? So what's below that? We never really think about that wall. But that'd be the only path in.
I've never asked. This is incredible. We need to see.
Many are
We
saying
need the information.
this is the great Counter-Strike conspiracy here. Oh boy! Oh, Tomiko had this. Wants the kill. Still trying to chase it. Flashbangs in his face, but Iceberg's vision cleared in time. That's a big missed opportunity, but Kisarek, the Innocent, will pay it off. Innocent gone. That's not where you wanted that molly to go. Oh boy. This gets very awkward indeed. As it all falls to Sobol. Very disjointed. Out of bullets at the wrong moment. It is Sashi to strike first in double overtime.
This is carnage. Absolute carnage.
Yeah, it's gotten so very brawly in these outer fights. I mean, that felt like it hung on a knife's edge, right? If there are 5 more bullets in that AK, that could have been a Rebels round.
Somewhat feels like both teams are feeling jaded of playing slow on the T side. They're just so intent on making the first move now. Not to say that's the wrong decision, but it certainly makes for very messy Counter-Strike. There's a lot going on. This one's a slightly different look. Double pop dog. I'm just going to have to respect the Molotov for now, but with Nico in a fairly advanced position too, Sobel surely gets crunched.
We've seen
in a
Nico have a
moment.
lot of impact from this. This time, Sobel up on the angle. Who gets the headshot first? Flashbang to turn it, and that will work just fine. Pop Dog players aren't quite in position to capitalize, but they will eventually get the trade. Well, now Cabby between these smokes. Not tagged by the Molotov. They're not going to expect him, and so that's a freebie. Oh, beautiful repossession. Cabby, Ivy is closed for business. Cabby is not interested in your custom. Please.
I'm still pondering this B-bomb site train question. Still, I need to know.
All the action's coming in the B hall, so we're not really looking at it, are we?
The A-bomb
Here
site's
in A.
easy. I mean, you can see in both directions exactly where the
Yeah.
trains would go.
Much like, train rails usually do, is they do go in both directions. Well, I suppose
Yes.
sometimes at the end of the yard, they stop.
Yes. Well, thank you for your insights.
One time I fell asleep on a train on the way to the airport. And nearly missed my flight.
Was the airport not the last stop?
Nope.
Did you go beyond
Cabby.
the airport?
No, so it was a series of trains I needed to take to get to the airport. 3 of them, to be specific. And I fell asleep on the first one because I was a sleep-deprived college student. And I woke up on an empty train that was no longer in service, that was moving into the rail yard. Fortunately, a staff member was walking through the train to do a visual check, realized where I was, and said, hang on, it's going to take about 15 minutes, but we'll get you back. So I missed my connection.
Hang on,
and
hang on,
I
hang
think
on.
made it with
You
about
telling
half an
me
hour to spare.
They reversed the whole train.
Well, I think it was getting put back into rotation, right? And so I don't know whether that was just the normal timeline or whether they sped it up for me.
Either way, it seems it's your fault that the US rail system
Yes,
is
that
so
one
inefficient.
time about a decade ago, over a decade ago, I'm actually the problem. You've cracked the case.
Put that in your TikTok.
Oh, Nico. Oh, Nico. Oh, if that had been a smoke pop nade, this could have been wild. It doesn't quite disperse the smoke, though. But now as it fades, Kisrek's got a nade out. Ooh, yeah, what's the timing on this? It's a flashbang. Nico will stare straight into it to great success. You don't need to see if you just spray. But spray comes back the other way. Kisarek, oh my goodness, 3 found off of that. Holds mouse 1, holds his nerve. Plants the bomb. We'll take it no further. Leaves it to Flay. He's taken him to the precipice, but now Flay cannot bring it over the line. Sashi will find a map point of their own. And we move back to that comfortable train game we were seeing. Okay, fellas, you've trolled us a couple times. Maybe get the defuse going here. Little extra tomfoolery coming through from Lucky. But it is a clean CT side here in overtime.
And some big doors there where the trains go.
There you go. We
I was
learned.
taking notes. There's 3 doors. One of them's got a train in it. 2 are closed.
Finally, one of us pays attention.
If only we did that in school. Too late for that.
Hey, look, I talk about video games for a living. Whatever young Mike did to get to this point, well done.
I spent the majority of lectures with HLTV scoreboard. Those were the days. Those were the days. Double AWP back out for Rebels because we saw this, didn't we? Towards the very tail end of regulation going into overtime. And now, there is no margin for error. One mistake, you're a goner.
Aggressive T-con control here. Kisarek and Tomiko playing together. Oh, Flake. Before that smoke blooms, that's a perfect angle. Catches one, makes life so much easier here, but they're actually through an iceberg soon to test it. So this timing might not be expected. Oh, and as he gets out the connector, Canberra, this could be bad. Kisarek needs a kill. He's rumbled out into the open. When you activate Iceberg, Molotov actually reveals himself, gives his life up. And now they get crunched. It's a disaster. All that positioning, all that control, but trying to make solo moves, his teammates couldn't link up, and it stays clean for the Rebels.
Get much better than that. Okay, 2 to go. It's got to be said, Kisarek, Flay, they have got into the game. There was a moment where Sobel was up to something like, I think he was on 27 kills, and his teammates were not double digits. So at least some help is on hand, and they're gonna need it. Still 2 map points for Sashi to win their opponent's pick. Need 1 moment of brilliance to finish this.
Back to these slower plays. The presence of the CT utility just making these pacier moves more difficult. And they're going to risk inner. Reminder that in regulation, it was Sobel just holding court and shutting down every move they tried to make towards B. So that Spectre still has to be present in their mind. Molotov's going to cut off the Z rotate. You're going to get a full execute. This is El Classic. This is the standard array. Here comes the U-tilt. Wally behind it. Sobel stacks him up. Doesn't even see. Knows the lines. And he's getting the kills, but he's lost his teammate. Sobel, though, doesn't need a teammate. He's a one-man wrecking crew. Sobel on for the ace. Is doing it all himself. No help needed. And he spots the last. Information given over to his team. Nades ringing out, and Sobel secures it all. B is his court, and you will not be intruding upon his domain.
Monstrous. Phenomenal. What else can you say?
That's
Just changed the complexion of this map on the T side for Sashi. B is far from an easy option. It's 4A or we going into Sobel, and right now I might take the 4 on A, to be honest.
Well, what was crazy about that one is he even has a teammate with him. They're playing 2 forward on B, but that player just gets deleted, and it doesn't matter because Sobel is him.
This map can't be in vain for Sobel. He's put so much into this.
Still the only one of his teammates at this point in time that's positive on the scoreboard. Flay, I will say, has really turned around his fortunes. He started like 6-10, and has been very solid on the AWP since then. Really, since they consistently got the op out. But it has been the Sobel show for sure. See, this time Sobel's rotating back, trusting that the spectator of his presence is actually going to funnel them in towards A, and he's read it correctly. They're out of pop, but it cost them life. Can't quite get that territory. Now they're being shut down. Bodies are dropping, and we seem destined for more play. Zyphon trying to tilt the scales, but it's just not to happen. He falls to Cabby. Alone, 1 man against 4, and he's out in no man's land. And oh boy, Turbo Tomiko himself to put this one away. We go again.
Yeah, we're in for the long haul now. Approaching about an hour 10 in play. And there are no pauses from here. Minus attacks. Okay. Maybe Sashi should use their tactical pause. And think about these T-side rounds. It just feels like starting to go through the motions. B doesn't work. Fast A round. That doesn't work. Work Ivy. Not quite joining up the puzzle right now. At least in a proactive manner. What is the change up? Nico takes space here towards B. Plenty of teammates by his side, so it could be a really early hit here. Let's see. They choose to finish on B. Feels like it.
Oh, they're going to test Sobel. They're going to test him. This time he's playing far back. Didn't get his close angle that he's been favoring. So they gain a ton of ground. Sobel has to rotate around. This is massive now for Sashi. They seem to have finally solved the B defense. And you're still going to have to contend with this man. Give him a chance to reload. Oh,
what?
boy. Oh, boy.
Okay, it wasn't him.
Timely kills coming through from Tomiko to keep his teammate alive, to let him get that new magazine in the gun. There is Nico coming through from Z, so this is a bit of the Joker, bit of the X factor here. Kissarak seems to be holding for it, so that's the general idea. Iceberg down, and he's just that one man, and a Joker doesn't work if you don't have anything else in your hand.
I really thought Sobel got that kill in the air for a moment. That would have been something. This is becoming a very intriguing game of Counter-Strike because we look at it on a surface level, on a macro level. Rebels, as they did in regulation, playing take B, 4 on A. Sashi, they're on a great execute. They take Sobel out of the site, completely out of the site.
Yeah.
They have a lot of util. It was an early round hit, so they could have chained more and more util onto connector, onto the deep lines. And it frankly looked like quite an easy retake from Rebels. I don't know what happened to Sashi, but that should have been a lot more competitive than it was.
Yeah, it's if you were diagramming around and you're trying to get to the ideal situation for that kind of a take. Like, ideally, you catch the B player and kill him. But if you're not going to get that kill, that is pretty much the ideal circumstance you get to. You don't do anything with it. B is just not...
So frankly, all the T sides for Sashi have been like this. A very CT sided map. That last round though is going to sting because they got the read right. They're the ones that really hurt when you get so much of the round correct. It's the late round that lets you down. So much more slow pace. They lost their early man. They haven't pressured B. Rebels are very content to play 4 on A. And it certainly feels like the bomb is heading this direction. They are very well positioned.
Oh boy. Iceberg, that's a heck of a shot. But Tomiko back into the angles. Starting to shut this down, trying to secure it. Knows where Lucky is now. Lucky's been given the bomb, but there's no time to go any other which way. And Flay is peering on in. Scope out. 20 on the board. Rebels screaming on this defensive side.
Yeah, it's been 8 CT rounds in a row as well.
Oh boy.
I think it might even be more. Okay. Not ideal. Sashi have got to get something out of this T side. Iceberg needs a gun. Gets one in the end. Now we're going to change this offense. Well, we've got 2 towards Ivy early. Otherwise, a pretty standard default. Cabbage is over towards Ivy with a teammate for a quick clear. Bit of a run boost by the looks of it. Jump a man across. Then you can double peek the deeper lines. So that is nice, but what do you do with it?
Ooh. What? Ah. They crossed. But the player tight into the angle might keep him guessing, right? That shot rang out. We still have Kissarak here as the insurance policy. And Innocent actually coming back to it. Does Innocent give him the angle? Oh, Lucky wants this. He got past. Lucky setting up util. Look, they brought a third player back over. It's Sobel, who's going to try and keep them contained if they want to go for that T-Con wrap. This is getting so messy in the smoke. Running out of bullets here, but somehow living. What is happening? Bomb retrieved. They swap positions again through the smoke, and the A site is lost. It's under the control of Sashi, but I don't know if they realize how clear it is. Cabby has enough vision that he should do. So it's a full-on retake. Everyone coming from camera and icon. As soon as this bomb is planted, the ball is once again very much in Sashi's court, but they don't necessarily have the help to defend it, and Kissarik has worked his way out of icon. So here's that first inroad. Here's that first foray into real estate take, and they know they have Zyphon deep in towards T-Con. What can he do with it? Here comes the retake. Here comes the motion. Util being thrown out. Trying to get some sort of response. That's not to happen. Zyphon's wary that a long Ivy wrap could be what they're waiting for, but it's actually just a smoke being deployed, and so bulldozing Lucky away from that bomb. They're on the stick. They're on the stick, and they've got it. It's clean for Rebels. 3 rounds on the trot. 1 required to close.
What's happened to Sashi in these afterplants?
Well, what's happened is Sobel has 40 kills out.
That does...
I don't think he died in this period of overtime.
Yeah, he's been a Tomiko in-game name monster.
Yeah. Turbo Sobel indeed.
Oh. He's got the turbo on.
This is disgusting. I mean, in that round, it's also like, okay, you're coming into his site. He's got layer bonus, domain bonus. That's helping him. But when he's forced into the retake, he's still cooking. When he's coming through a smoke, he's still cooking. He is having
There's
just
no winning.
a monstrous game.
This is the moment now for Rebels. Sashi are in a lot of trouble. I appreciate that there's been a lot of CT rounds won in this game, and certainly not impossible for Sashi to get us to another overtime, but at some point you're going to make an error. At some point, Sobel's going to get in a good position and win them a T round. It surely is just inevitable.
Whee! What? They were on the other side of this same duel. Last round. Smoke the block. Lucky with the reposition. Try and hold him in. But this is just a fake this time. They're not actually going to commit behind it at all. They're just going to hold Lucky here.
Ooh,
Zyphon.
we're back.
This angle worked. In regulation.
Didn't they lose the round?
On that one.
Didn't they lose the round?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they lost the round.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about that part. That's not important. He got the one kill.
They need to win this round.
This time they did not kill Sobel. And that is a problem. You really would have liked to kill Sobel. Instead, it's Nico who's dead. That would have been a massive scalp to find, and instead you are now in big, big trouble.
Sashi are heavily committed to thinking this is B.
You have to. But Sobel still does provide that escape route through Pop.
So what do they do? Tomiko fakes Ivy. Sashi...
Iceberg's going to see that no one's behind him.
It's so hard for Sashi to make a good call right now. There is time to end this bomb through Pop Dog. Oh my, the bomb is dropped.
That's Cabby, but Sobel's cleared out A. If they can get this C4...
They've got A, but the bomb's B.
Flay, you have to back. Run, run, run. Does he even have time if he goes all the way through Pop? I think so. Oh, if he gets caught on the B ramp, though. Shot hits, shot lands. They might just have it by elimination, and Tomiko indeed will. The clock got away from them, but Rebels grabbed that clock, dragged it back through, and they secure their map point. They secure their map. It's train for the Rebels.
Can't believe it.
Madness.
Can
Actual
you
madness.
even imagine the team speak for the last...
Had a good map overall, and there were certainly some impact moments, but maybe going to need a little bit more of that domination from the off. I mean, they're easy to point to, but Lucky has been monstrous in the Sashi team at times, and they could really use a monster of their own.
Certainly good. I'm intrigued to see Nico as well on this team, I think. Certainly a player that, at least at this level of competition, has it within him to be dominant.
Actually, crazy. That's 22.
That's wild. Wow, I would have guessed 24. Something about that age.
Only 22. Churn through a player's career when they're 18. System. Okay, 1-for-1 trade here on the ramp. Certainly they know which way it's headed now, but Iceberg's got this control at vent, so good luck getting these dualies in a position where they can do anything about it. Tomiko has done exactly that. He will turbo his way on in to try and deny this bomb plant entirely. Fake tap there from Lucky, trying to bait out this next move, but in doing so, he's allowed the remaining CTs to get very much into position. Oh, they want to go up, and Kissarak is very ready for it. Xiphon slides past, got the bomb. Might just get a stick, though. There's a foot race on as a player tries to come up heaven. Innocent, wary of this, trying to deny, and it's Sobel on top to lay him low. Team Ace, as the Rebels start this one with a win.
Somewhat a result to get a bomb plant out of that. End of the day. I'd say Rebels will take it. Pissed around for them. Everybody chiming in. And we'll wait to see if Sashi will consider forcing behind this. I think modern era, more teams actually would save into AKs. They've chosen to invest. We've got one AK, couple Mac 10s out. Hopefully some util. They're looking a little bit sparing for the moment. Not loads of it. And Lucky hasn't fully bought, so they need to get the most out of what they have bought.
Xiphon's got this cheeky corner. They're going to think it's clear. Question is, does that actually buy him anything? Nope. Sobel's on top. Sobel 2. Looking for a third. Hopping around there on the hut. Nothing to unseat him. And Sobel continues to be a problem. Oh boy. Nothing doing here for Sashi. Nothing whatsoever. Totally denied. Shut down. Shuttered at the hands of Sobel once more.
Just look for the most train-like position. I can't sit on top of Thomas. I'll sit on top of Hart. Okay, well, if that sets the tone. Good luck, Sashi. Hopefully not for their sake.
It's early days. Early days.
Early doors.
They can identify where Sobel plays. You play somewhere else. And they got all the deagles out now. We got a full true deco. No armor. No util. Just headshots, baby. Love a good deco. There, you can tell they're just trying to bait peeks outside. Right now, Rebels aren't giving them anything. These footsteps by the red box, that's entirely what it's about. Innocent, though, wary. Ooh, Cabby's trained on this. Does he get tempted? Hasn't been tempted yet, and Cabby, sorry, Lucky, giving up this angle.
Quite disciplined. There's no need to take these fights. They're not scared of anything that Sashi can throw at them.
It's 3 players in towards upper, right?
They might be able to isolate Flay. 2 now stuck in towards mini. This could get really scary really fast. They don't hit their men. Kissereg, though, does his job. Crisis averted. Ace, perhaps not quite. But, yeah. Good to get on the
You
scoreboard.
take 4 on the eco. 1 casualty. Take those against the deco. I do back your point that when you're all getting stuck in towards mini, it's like fish in a can. It can get a little risky against the Deagles, but it does require that Sashi hits some headshots. And
you're also
no
left
headshots were to
eye
be found.
and you can't move. So, like, the T-side players know where to look as they wide swing you. Certainly with body armor and Tech 9s, that would have been a nightmare. But no harm, no foul. Onwards and upwards. And Tomiko, Mr. Turbo, he's on the ramp. So A is really exposed here for the CT side. Flay is in secret. Innocent, who spent a lot of rounds in towards main, is back garage, so he can't really help those A players. Let's hope for Rebels' sake that this round develops more towards outside, because that is where they're geared to fight.
so far, so good. 3 players out here trying to make some inroads. They're going to smoke, but this is to set up a mini play, it seems. And yeah, Innocent's not going to have the sight lines. There it is. He actually gets the kill, but Kisserek lost. This is a problem. Sobel comes back to it. Still up here on the hut, not unseated. Oh boy, in the hut. Still gets that kill from Nico. But a dink back the other way, and now Tomiko's coming in to try and clear this out. Yeah, that's your chance. Time to save. Time to think about where to hide this up here.
Yeah.
For Flay, the sight's lost.
I mean, the setup just made it really tricky, didn't it? You can't blame the A players for Rebels. They're 2 people holding 3 choke points, being main, Squeaky, and Hut. It's just luck if you're looking the right way at the right time. So, how the cookie crumbles. Flay on his way out the door. Takes a heady. And Sashi get on the board. Redemption is the name of the game.
Red Dead. It's my favorite.
You know, I've
game
never
that's
played
named
Red
Redemption.
Dead 2.
Did you play the first?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Which is why it's such
The
a
second
surprise I
one.
never played it.
Yeah, the second one is beautiful. It's genuinely probably the greatest weather I've ever seen. It's like one of the most... I mean, the first one was beautifully atmospheric, right? And the second one is just even more so because the technology came a long way and the graphics are gorgeous. So I don't think I even finished the second one because I was so bad at progressing the plot because I would just go
You
wander
just
the
did
woods.
all.
I'm just going on like a hunting trip for hours in game. But it is magnificent, and I would recommend. They released a remaster of the first one recently, and I'm thinking about a playthrough. Counter-Strike's about to head to Texas for a month, so, you know, might be time to get ready for that. Zyphon! Getting ready for this.
Did they remake the zombie add-on?
I don't know, actually. Undead Nightmare. Yeah. Haven't tried it yet. I don't know
There
if
you
the
go.
DLC's
This is...
included.
They haven't. We need it.
I remember I would, as a kid, playing Red Dead, there was the... Hold on, this might be the round here for Tomiko. This one might be huge. Molotov to chase him off of it, going to force to back away. Now the problem is, down below, Sobel is dancing around Iceberg. They've actually gone past each other in the vents, so Sobel's position might not be expected. This is going to get very weird. Lucky, caught, but Iceberg's now behind, and they're aware of each other. Upgrade here onto the AK, but what can Sobel do about this? He needs to find some sort of space for his teammates to get back into it. And Innocent's going to have a very tough time linking up. They're saving.
Sobel never one to leave before he knows.
Yeah, surely
some
not.
frags.
He's going for this? Nobody else is coming with him.
He might have felt like he couldn't fall out safely anyway.
It was worth a try, though, isn't it?
Still, though, they needed these guns. Yeah, it's not ideal. Two of them say they're definitely buying.
I never love when a team's on 2 pages. Like, if you're going to save, save. If you're going to go for it, go for it. Don't half in, half out. Neither one's going to be successful if you're doing that. Much like John Morgan wasn't successful at the end of Red Dead Redemption.
How on earth do you remember that? Oh my lord!
It's one of the most like emotional endings to a video game I've ever played. Magnificent trades here going on in as the 3-on-3 emerges, and that bomb is committed down in towards upper. Kissarek's gone looking in hut, but he has found a bullet. The bomb is planted, and again, we might be in a situation where Rebels are on the outside looking in of this bomb site. Tamika's going to try and smoke pop to try and get back through. Catches the player. Now they're in. Now it's happening. Fully in. No one out. No kit.
There's got to be a kit somewhere. Must be.
It's dropped down on the site. It's not available to them. Flight looks like he's going back to retrieve it, but not to be found. Might just shoot their way out of this. Now it's time for the stick. Full 10 second. Tomiko playing babysitter here. Lucky needs to get a reload. I don't think he gets that in time. And the defuse is off. Kill found a second too late. It's Rebels to win the round.
That was crazy. A bonkers retake. Wow. I'm not even sure Sashi played it particularly badly. The big kill is the smoke pop from Tomiko out towards main. And from there, it was just madness. Okay, so round for Rebels. That said, their buy here isn't brilliant. And they've just pushed their loss bonus down to 1,400. So there is absolutely scope here for Sashi to force a double eco if they can win the round and kill 4+ players. So there's no time for them to let off the gas. For now, though, slow default. 2 players outer. Not massive control. Free lobby for Sashi. And they need to make a decision. Still got plenty of smokes to at least present the possibility of a secret cross. I'm sure we'll see those in the near future. Here we go.
Ooh. Smoke pop. Flash through. Putting a threat in their mind that it might be a mini swing.
I think Innocent fully peaked for a second, so he might have even called to his teammates that there's nobody here, which actually strictly isn't correct.
They are totally out of utility now as well. There is nothing left to throw. We've got 40 seconds left on the clock. Got to do it by the guns. It seems like Sashi are massing for an A take here. Could be a vent dive, I suppose, but no. A will be the object of their intent. Kissarak and Sobel here in defense. So far, so good. Cabby tagged up, but they're running out of time. 15 seconds, and Innocent coming flying up the vents finds 2. This is just a complete disaster. Sashi just limp on the take. Never really get anywhere with it, and Lucky will be left to try and hold his AWP into the next round.
I'm a little bit stunned because if I didn't know better, I would have said the way that round just played out is Sashi met a Molotov at Squeaky, but there were no nades.
There were no nades.
There were no nades.
There was not a flash. There was not a smoke. There was nothing.
So how did they all get stuck around the vent for ages?
Maybe
Rebels
they
were
missed
not
their
well
mini
positioned.
smoke.
Okay, Rebels had, I think they were top hut initially, and or the Sobel fell into hut. They weren't well positioned on A. Certainly not to fight Squeaky.
They basically had 2 players playing the same angle in towards hut.
Not by
And
choice.
then
They were kind of
saved
forced into that because it was the only option left.
Yeah.
Sashi should have at least got a bomb plant there. What on earth?
It's a little mystifying. It's like they almost expected the response util, and then when it didn't come, their brains broke a little bit. Just buffering. Innocent finds the first, able to dive away. He's been waiting for that particular engagement for a few rounds now. This time it's given to him. So you start in a 5v4. There's super limited utility for both sides. These rounds have been getting close. Lucky does collect 1 in the outer yard. Flay gone.
Rebels are pretty sure this is A, and that is incorrect.
Very
Lobby
much so.
clear for them, but this information absolutely could come too late. There is a lot of ground already gained here. There's util on Xiphon too.
The problem is you don't have the retake nades. Tamika's going to get back into this angle, and Sobel will be coming along, but again, MP9 at this range, this could just be a little too late. Oh boy, that is actually so fortunate that they gave him the information. Looked like he was just going to swing into it, but Sobel cannot follow it up. Couldn't lock in that SMG spray, and now, Rebels, do you risk this? Well, not anymore.
Very rare miss from Sobel. He is mortal. Turns out. It's been an absolute carnage fest, this CT side for Rebels. And they might be about to pay the price. Their money is a disaster. Even worse now. They might have to force. Pick your poison. I don't think saving here is brilliant. I think they will force. They do. There is scope now for Sashi to get a lot of rounds out of this T side because the money is going to take a long time to recover for Rebels.
Tamiko got bottled, but I don't know if they realize. No tick on the molly. Now some footsteps given up. This is kind of a weird engagement, and Sobel's got 1. Oh boy. Uh-oh.
Oh my.
Uh-oh. They've just completely dismantled this lobby take. Lucky has to try and get this bomb. He's under threat. Iceberg's like, I got all this real estate. And Lucky's coming. I don't care. I need this C4. This is crazy. They have just been completely wiped off the board. There's 1 point of damage done to Tamiko.
All around, Sashi needs to get right.
Talk about
This is
shut
up
down.
there with like the worst time to lose a round.
Yep. Oh, you thought you were gonna get momentum? No. Lucky's desperate for a bomb plant here, right? Because a bomb plant would let them at least keep buying. Without it, he's just got to save up and teammates on eco. Okay, all right. He's got a chance here. And a chance that is denied, but at least that bomb does go down. Helps lessen the sting a bit here for Sashi, but it's still devastating.
See how their money pans out. Yeah, I had a feeling their loss bonus was quite low. It's borderline. Lucky and Xiphon can buy. It's a tricky one. They're going to invest in, don't blame them. But there will certainly have to be some sacrifices. U2 looks pretty decent. Okay, it's not too bad. How do they deploy the forces, though? Out of spawn we come. No early smokes, more of a default sort of spread. Lucky saw this earlier in the half. They love taking this fast spawn and getting into hut. Clearly there, though. Didn't enjoy running those coals.
Oh. I don't know if there was a spot there. So Miko would have had vision, I believe. So might have seen this player slip into secret. The smoke out from Innocent would seem to indicate. So yes, I think the information is over to Rebels. That somebody slipped through. I don't know if they realized that it was only the one. But they're going to try and link up. Innocent forestalling them with that smoke means that Sashi go off of Plan A. Plan A, heavy ramp presence, link up with the one guy down secret. What's Plan B now? Retaking control out of yard. They do have the smokes to throw one more cross. And those are actually in position here outside, so that seems to be the case. But it's a fake. A ruse.
Rebels aren't biting, you know. I can't believe they haven't sent a second player lower. Innocent is... He's reading this like a book. He's just calling, I'm going to play retake on B. I'm going to fall in towards control. There's 2 on A proper. Play is fairly nearby, but he needs to help his teammates. 1-for-1 trade for now. Tamiko into heaven. Does massive work. Woo! 2 for him. Leaves us all square. Awkward engagement as Flay stays alive, and Innocent is pushing all the meanwhile. Innocent can win this round. They might not be looking his direction. How is the timing? It is phenomenal. Zyphon gone. Just like he remains. Never stood a chance. Monster retake. And a critical round now for Rebels.
Feels like this is another one where you can look at it for Sashi and say, well, they got close. There were some limitations in the buy, but at the end of the day, the rounds are just stacking up against them.
Yeah. They've lost full economic control now, haven't they? Look at the money for this CT side.
It's cooked.
They've missed their moment. This could have been 7-3 Sashi with only a couple more kills going their way.
First timeout deployed here. So Hunted getting in their ears.
Yeah, that is a bit late, isn't it? Day late and $1 short. Let's give Tamiko credit. He's having a map.
We said somebody needed to take some of the pressure off of Sobel. Still having a great game, by the way. 110 ADR. Maybe fewer of the kills, more of the damage, as Tamika has been coming in to clean those up.
She's gonna...
They feel like they need to.
I don't know, man.
Is not enough.
Maybe they think the money is worse than it really is for Rebels. Rebels save 2 guns. They're buying again, no problem. 1 AK. I mean, it'll be. If they lose this round, they would have gone like 5 rounds without a full investment. We'll be asking some questions if they don't make one of these rounds work.
Goodbye, Iceberg. Goodbye. Tried to get fast. Didn't wait the util. But it's down to Vent. Oh, there's 2 players here. Does Nico give this up? Or can he find a kill out of it? Hasn't peeked fully out. His teammates are coming around behind it, so he might be a little bit of the unexpected element. I don't know how much awareness there is that a player's gotten down. Oh, boy. Okay, they don't know that an op's on the angle, though. Nico can at least trade that out, but Tamiko slides in. Just nobody's looking at these players. What are we doing here? What are we doing, guys? Okay, only 1 for Tamiko. It falls all down to Nico now. As Sobel came in at just the right time. Nobody looking the right direction here for Sashi. And they're going to find that there's just no chance.
Oh, dear. Well, that's the other thing is if you're going to force buy, you have to keep up the pressure. You need buy, you need plant after plant after plant. You need to grind Rebels into submission with a war of attrition, and that's not going to happen. This series is starting to slip through their fingers. Train, frankly, should have been a lock-in. What was it? Something like 11-6 they had to kick off that second half. And now they're looking in real trouble.
Would have been nice. Engagement outside. Iceberg unable to find it. Desperation. That's the name of the game here. Tamiko knows the assignment is to stay alive. Deal bits of damage as you go. Can't stay alive. Upgrade found there for Nico. Now lower sight compromised.
This is the best chance for a while.
Simpler play. Oh, that nade could be chunky. Not quite. But Instant knows he needs to just hold on to this beachhead to get his teammates landed and into the retake.
This fight feels like everything.
Didn't want to get stuck out from that smoke, so you go through. And now the bodies are hitting the floor one after another. It's all on the Xiphon with the Deagle to defend. Strikes on the first, but no chance to deny the bomb defuse. And indeed, it will be 9 rounds for the Rebels as they look to find the 2-0.
In the meantime, I'll blindfold my pride and keep hold of my time like it's gold. Fading color, reaching to find where the wonder hides. Saying it'll all be fine. Why sit around and waste the time? Fading color, stuck in the backseat and told to drive.
I pack my suitcase, headed out the door. I keep my shoes laced. 2,000 miles away from home. A couple dollars in my pocket, never stopped the boy before. I load my bags and hit the road.
Miles past, turning back, found my track, face the fact, she a cold one. Never gonna settle for none. Stay up every night till I won. Don't want a slow rise now. I'm confident opulence isn't a long ride out. When I look back now, I'm astounded. A quiet boy from old age, but always felt the world was a stage, yeah. I celebrate one last late night. My old life ain't staying.
I pack my suitcase, headed out the door. I keep my shoes laced. 2,000 miles away from home. A couple dollars in my pocket, never stopped the boy before. I load my bags and hit the road.
I'm headed to LA. Headed on my way. I'm headed on my way to LA. Headed on my way soon.
Couple thousand miles, throw it on the dash. Shit, the 10,000 hours, can't let them pass. Yeah, well, I was putting time in, you was pulled up while you always had shit to say. Now when I see you, it's silence. Thought I'd have a Grammy by 25. Commas after commas next to dollar sign. Yeah, had to remind myself why I'm living this life. Look at all the late nights, it'll all come in due time. Yeah.
Made for the fight, for the pain and the climb. Tied to the life I chose. Stay through the night, another day, not a dime. Race against time. I couldn't just lay by and wonder what I could have made mine. I'm closing on the moment, no one's gonna hold me tight.
I pack my suitcase,
We are live and into the action here, as it was a dominant first half for the Rebels, carrying over the momentum from Train, largely in the form of our Turbo Man himself, Tamiko. Fast play, they don't want to slow down at all. Nico traded, Lucky and Cabby to follow, and it seems like it's domination on deck once again. Xiphon, can you do anything about this? Out from heaven he goes, insta-gush, and quick kill to follow. 10 rounds, and it does not feel like the Rebels are going to allow Sashi a chance today.
That is bad news if you're a Sashi fan. What do? Do you eco now and buy M4 body armor in the following? I think they've cast their die. It's an eco. They're going to hand Rebels 11. The sole investment is the zapper on Cabby. Where is it? Ramp. I've never seen that spot work, by the way.
Really?
Ever.
Oh, I definitely have. I definitely have. I'm more partial to getting aggressive into the trophy room, but that does require a smoke or a flash to gamble your movements. The problem is, even if it's successful, it's a 1-for-1, and rarely is a player coming past that position alone.
The good news is he's moved the longest range fight you can take on the map.
That is good news for Rebels. Everything is about perspective, Alan. At the end of the day, it's all about perspective.
That's what my psychiatrist said after coaching Endpoint.
Was the perspective that you can leave? No one is making you do this. Lucky. Down, done. If there was any hope of this USP round.
He's still going.
I appreciate the commitment to the bit. Go not quietly into that void. Rage against the dying of this map. With a little zap.
Great poetry.
Zap, zap, zap.
One by Byron there. Oh my lord! I can't believe it.
And I ain't talking Hugo.
Oh, that was good. Finally get the payoff. Will that be the last minute of jubilation for Sashi in this series? It could well be. 2, all that are required. This could be the start of Rebels winning 10 series in a row to win the tournament.
That's a hell of a start. If so, crazy overtime games on Train. 42 kills dropped by one player in Sobel. And then you stomp them out on their own map pick of Nuke. Reminder as well that Rebels are decidedly the underdogs if we're talking about VRS here. A good 20, 30, 40 places below in the ranking. So they will
do
stand
great
to
things
gain.
for them. Yep.
This round, though, starts well with Zyphon finding a kill outer. So they'll just ramp that has to hold up, and Kabi will risk the Molotov to escape. It does get him a kill, so well done from Kabi, but only the one can't hold on. And in the meantime, this trades outside. And a bomb plant destined for the lower bomb site.
They need to take some space. Look, I love this. Tap the bomb, go for a kill. Need to frag Nico, though. Doesn't come. We like the idea. Execution. Not quite on point. Sashi, stay alive for now.
Lack of that bomb plant's really going to hurt them into this one, isn't it? They're going right back into the buy, which is interesting to me here, because Innocent and Kisarek are very low, but they'll suffice with pistols and Mackies.
Okay. A lot more work to do before we're compelled about this map of Counter-Strike. From a Sashi perspective, what have we got? Early cross smokes down from Rebels. Grouping numbers lobby. For now, they're letting Kisarek take space. I think they're just playing off Kisarek. If Kisarek gets an opener, they'll pop in.
Is he going to phase in towards Garage? Misses the smoke. Whoa! Nico gets 2 kills elsewhere. They're very fortunate, but Kisarek will eventually find one, and Nico's traded out. It just falls to Innocent, though, and he just has a Glock. He was setting up nades for his teammates. This was not. Let's play on supposed to go. Deagle retrieved. The barest form of upgrade here. Bomb picked up, but if he rounds this corner... Okay, rifle and out. Surely this isn't just a save.
I think you might be disappointed.
No, 50 seconds. It would put their money in such a bad spot, generally speaking. I think he was trying to bait someone into chasing him as if it was a save, to then try and punish. But he has found the isolated engagement. Cabby's playing
He'll
a wicked off
never
angle,
expect this off angle. No chance.
Ooh, timing is everything. And there it is.
Okay. Well, I don't mind the round from Rebels. It's one of those rounds where if Kisarek gets a good catch on a play around whatever, Unbreakable or Mini, the round really tumbles fast. Just Sashi were very well positioned at the end of the day. So, doesn't quite work out. Clearly got a lot of room to maneuver. This one's an eco. So I guess a moment to breathe. If you're a Sashi fan.
Breathe they shall. That one's low. Oh, Lucky's gone. Hang on. That nade does nothing somehow. That a little more. Now with just Glocks on the other side. And a flank now on. The danger is gone from this round. Team Ace.
Just having a look at Sashi's ranking, and it has tanked from the middle of last year. VRS, they peaked at 28, and they actually held a top kind of 30, 35 ranking for about half a year. And then just absolutely off the cliff. Start of this year. Vortex out, Nico in.
Do you remember they had that big opportunity with the qualification to EWC middle of last year? Haven't really had any event opportunities. Zyphon has a huge opportunity. 1, 2, 3. Stack him up, knock him down, round over. Zyphon's done it. Innocent and Sobel will try and create some intrigue here, but as the smoke fades, Innocent out in the open. Done. Dusted. And it falls to Sobel. As the magic man on train, he's still been very solid here, but this would have to be extraordinary.
Oof.
That's a good start, though. That is a damn good start. It means bomb is retrievable. And there's still a full minute of clock to play with. Players wrapping up secret. That's Cabby. So this has to go faster than Cabby's approach. Spot onto the 1. So
Cabby
might
could
have
use
a
his
pretty good
util
idea.
to block. He actually decides I'm going to fight. Very unexpected angle. Not anticipated by Sobel. And with no plant here, starting to get the feeling this could be game on. Money is slowly but surely building for Sashi. Rebels need to win 2 gun rounds to win this map. And that isn't necessarily that easy from here. This is a hefty investment from Innocent. Flay's gone in pretty heavy too. They need a plant here, I think, to justify this. Quite a lot
like
bought.
It almost feels like at this point, why don't you just go all the way in? But seems like they might have a pretty dedicated idea. To me, this reads upper bust.
That's exactly what Sashi would anticipate. Oh no, it's a half buy at best.
You have so many smokes that you can throw the wall outer and fake it.
Still, they weren't born yesterday. There'll be 4 enough for Sashi for a lot of this round. Or at least 4 with proximity to inner.
Could be a vent dive link up here. Iceberg's got a great window if that does come through. If they attempt to get out the squeaky door, Iceberg is going to chew them up.
They're going to go. They're going through this mini smoke, I think. With Innocent.
Also read a wrap here for Innocent. It's being watched. As you said, not born yesterday. They've seen a thing or two. So they can defend a thing or two. And with that bomb now down, for Flay and Kisarek, it's about doing some damage in this round. To not make it a total wash, but a total wash seems to be on deck.
Kisarek cross outer into secret. There's a lot going on in this round. I'm not I tend to be a fan of simplicity unless there's a reason. A lot of moving parts there, a lot of things probably need to go right. Alrighty. Got a game in our hands.
Surely. This is how many in a row now?
I think it was 11-3.
Yep, you are correct. So 5. Cabby. Ooh, Cabby. Flashbang. That gets the one traded, though. That's actually not a bad result for Rebels. We got a lot of space for this, and Kisrak also is ready to get that secret, desperately hoping that Molotov fades in time, and it does indeed. It's Iceberg who's in
the CT's
so
got
much
a
trouble.
really tough time rotating. Iceberg does get joined by a teammate. This is a really funky round. With the bomb is ready to be planted B, but they just don't have the numbers to feel confident. I'm not sure there's a good plant, Mike, because you probably want to plant open to decon, but you can't hold it. Now maybe with a third player from ramp, you can. Smoke onto decon. That bomb needs to go down right now, but this will not be an easy after plant.
No, certainly not. If Kisrak could have gotten one there, maybe. But as it is...
They might need to fight somewhere into control or into double doors. I'm not feeling their chances just sitting on the site.
Innocent catches a dink there, so now he's scared, backs away, doesn't want to get caught, but instead he's going to be flanked up by Lucky. It's only a matter of time, but Shovel and Flay contribute at just the right time. Innocent buys a bit of time. It falls to Flay. Flay with it all to do, hiding here behind double. Bomb! Oh, not planted for him. And the kill will be there for Lucky. It comes right down to the wire. Not a second to spare. Not a life to spare either. But Sashi keep the streak going.
This is getting brutal. Really chaotic rounds from Rebel. There's a lot of moving parts. Communication needs to be pretty much flawless to pull these rounds off, and they're struggling a little bit when it gets late, aren't they? Second pause burnt by the poles. Quick discussion. It's hard to... They're struggling a little bit when it gets late, aren't they? Second pause burnt by the poles. Quick discussion. It's hard to know what to change for Rebels because, you know, granted they're not winning a lot of rounds at the moment, but they are getting the bomb down in not terribly unfavorable positions. It's not like they've struggled, you know, it's not like they're just being ripped to shreds on outer, at least minus the Xiphon round, or not being able to get out of ramp with numbers alive. They've got options.
He smoke pops such a threat outside. Now Molotov to try and keep them from getting down. Kisrak's still going to be able to maneuver in, but this is a lot of the time for Cabby to get in position here by Secret. Everybody's coming his way, and woohoo, Cabby deleted. Now, again, B under threat. A player trying to rotate into support here from the vent, but it's really going to be about this op. The op comes off the angle. The op comes away, but Lucky peeks back in, gets a second player through. Util on, bomb will be planted. Smokes to hold him at bay. Numbers even. But there's no easy path back in this time around.
Look at the outside fight. I can't believe it's so critical in a B round.
Double's got it. Kisrak pops a shot as the door opens as well, and now this seems to be coming apart at the seams. Lucky, how do you possibly get stuck back into this? Damage matters, but he's not going to be able to do that either. Map and series point found. It has taken them damn long to find it. But they're here now. They're on the precipice, Alan, and they only need one more.
Kisarek was a hero there. Rebels had 2 players in yard. If Kisarek goes down on site, I'm not sure they get the numbers back before the bomb gets defused. Okay, well, it's been a bit of a roller coaster, this T side. And only one more to go. 3 chances for Rebels. And Innocent here taking a lot of space. Calls his teammates over. Numbers heading down towards Secret. Do they change their navigation? So it takes a duel. And that bomb indeed does cross into Secret. Sashi's not buying it, though. They saw the one player come through. They saw one player come through the smoke and thinking this really should be a main split. But it's not. The bomb is down Secret, and they have nobody lower to work out what's going on.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. That's an awkward engagement for Innocent. Thought he caught the mini player, but the tag off of Hut was enough.
Rebels don't know how good they've got it.
Huge.
They don't know how good they've got it. They're thinking logically, Mike. They're thinking there's got to be a player around somewhere. They can't be playing 5A.
The other one who can even think about doing something about this is Cabby. And the retake util is going to be miserable as well. They don't have any smokes. They have the kits at least. If this bomb goes down clean, world of trouble now for Sashi.
Yeah, it's a really hard retake. If they can hold on to vents and control, their moment is now. They need to fight before the bomb goes down. 1-for-1 trade. It's actually pretty good given a man advantage. That will do. Bomb does get planted. And I'm watching Decon because Rebels need to hold some map control for this after plant.
Molly's her ass. Still a couple flashes, but this is going to come down to the guns. Tomiko holding this at bay. Well done. Survives as well. Stays alive, and now it is just on to Nico. Nico dinked up already so very low on the precipice, and Flay will push him over it. Rebels, the 2-0. The clean win here on Nuke. It gets a little risky there, but they secure it nonetheless. No overtime required this go around. That's a massive win for a Rebels team that's been in need of one.